ฮัลโหลค่ะ Ano no?
ที่มันปวดหัวกับหัวมี
เอาปวดหัวกับแว่นด้วยนะ
น่าจะมีโรคเป็นส่วนด้วยเพราะว่าสายตาเรานะแต่สายตาไม่เพียงยาวไม่เพียงยาวด้วยมันรุ่มด้วยแล้วเป็นยาวเหยียดก็มียาวเหยียดกับยาวลบเป็นยาวเหยียดที่เราไม่ปวดหัวเรื่องสายตามันคือที่แบบที่พอดีมันไม่ยากเหมือนการที่ตาจะต้องแบบเพ่งเวลาแล้วก็การจะต้องตา
ห่างตาอ๋อจุดโฟกัสไม่เหมือนคนอื่น
ก็เลยต้องตอนนี้เราไปคุยก็แค่ก็
ซ้อมดิ
นี้ได้คุยทำมาลองได้แล้วช่วยประกอบให้หมดเลยมันน่าจะลองใส่แบบเด็กที่มันหนักๆอยู่แล้วมันเป็นยังไงอะไรอย่างเงี้ยอาทั้งยาที่ดีทั้งอะไรทุกอย่างก็บอกว่าไม่สบายใจ
เฮ้ยเราแชร์ลิงก์นี้ยังไงอ่ะแชร์ในแลนจุฬาแชร์ในเนี่ยนั่งกดของฉันแชร์ไปเลย
เป็นสั่งตัดเนี่ย
ดูความกว้าง
ก็ไม่ให้บน
เพื่อให้มัน
ใหญ่
ใกล้เคียงกับดวงตาแม่ที่สุดก็เลยมีเรื่องเพราะว่าสเปรย์เป็นเราเป็นสเปรย์เป็นที่เขาไปซื้อลิขสิทธิ์มาโดยเฉพาะเลย
จริงปะเท่าไหร่2 ละอัน3 อัน
เป็นลิขสิทธิ์อันนึงแล้วก็ธรรมดาอะไรต้องตรวจสอบ
แชร์อันนี้ไปที่
ช่วงนี้ก็คือตากาว
ก็น่าจะดีที่สุดแต่ว่าเขาบอกว่าถึงแม้
ก็เดี๋ยว
มันก็เดี๋ยวสกายทีเลยดูดิมันตรงแนวเลย
our speaker is already online
มันตรงมาก
แล้วไม่เห็นที่เขาขาย
moderator
มันเล็กเลยนะแต่ต้นร้อยหรือจานตุรีอ่ะที่ไม่จานตุรี
ตามสแควร์
ต้องแบบดูบอกมานี่คือคนขายได้เลย
ที่ไหนอีกอ่ะแชร์ไปที่พอราจะแชร์ยังไงอ่ะ
ไปตรงนี้ไม่มีเสียงมีการเอาไปจดขึ้นไป
บอกเราไม่หรอ
เทคนิคแหละว่าถ้าเราไปเล่า existing ให้อาจารย์ฟังเนี่ยเป็นไงก็ว่า
ทำยังไงทำไม
สวัสดีค่ะกฎกร
สวัสดีค่ะอาจารย์
เปิดกล้อง
ยังคะ
เปิดกล้องได้แล้ว
เปิดแล้วอาจารย์ทำไมเปิดไม่ได้อ่ะ
ยังไม่เปิดมันมีกฎกี่อันอ่ะ
คุณเดี๋ยวดิฉันต้องหยุดอันนี้ก่อนป่ะแคมเมรานี้ก่อนป่ะโอเคอาจารย์เห็นหนูยังคะอาจารย์เห็นกฎยังคะ
เห็นแล้วค่ะ
ฮัลโหลอาจารย์เห็นกฎแล้วครับ
แต่ว่าตัวนี้คือตัวที่ไม่มีเสียงใช่ไหมกดโอเค
สวัสดีค่ะอาจารย์
เห็นแล้ว
ทำไมเป็นหน้าฉันอ่ะ Sawadika. Is this gonna be all in English? Yes. Pin เอามาเร็วช่วยกดไลค์กดเลิฟหน่อยรัวๆเลยรัวๆสวัสดีค่ะอัญชมาวงศ์อาจารย์
สวัสดีครับ
ค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ
ตอนนี้เรามี39 participants. Now we have 39 participants, including the tutors and students from 2020 international workshop on urban landscape. So I would like to have Dr. Shimawong as a moderator for this one. I will go to operate the live on Facebook for the public to join our lectures. Thank you very much.
Should we start?
Yes. Or
Okay.
should we start now? Yes.
Okay, so I think it's about a good time to get start. Let me have a brief introduction about our special lecture and our guest for today, Miss Kotchakorn Voraakhom. She's the founder of a land process design firm, and she graduated from Harvard Design School, graduate of design. And she has done so many wonderful design in Thailand, especially. And for today, she's going to be describing one of her latest work that about rooftop farming. That also there's the award-winning. Maybe she can explain a little bit more. That's the A+ award, right? And without further ado, I think I pass the microphone to Kotchakorn and tell more about the story about herself and about her work. Please, Kotchakorn.
Thank you so much, Ajahn Shimawong, for your introduction. And hi everyone. How many countries are there in this workshop?
Thailand, obviously, Hong Kong, Korea, Japan, and Turkey.
Okay. Wow, it's like many
International.
international and within many continents. So hi everyone. And I'm actually broadcasting live on Facebook. So everyone who's participate in live can text the message or text any questions. And those who in the workshop can also send me the information as well. I'm trying to make this live more interactive as much as possible. So I would like to share my screen. And I know that many Ajahn Chumawong mentioned that this would be the urban farming, but also I think the studio that this 5 country is working on right now is actually about the urban landscape. So I think it would be many more projects than just Thammasat rooftop, but I will try to focusing on that one. So let me introduce myself a bit. And my name is Kotch, and I'm actually graduate from Chulalongkorn University, the best the best university on landscape I ever experienced. So Chulalongkorn and Ajahn Nam and many of the instructor in this workshop was my teacher and still are. And I'm having my master from Harvard University, which have a very tight connection with Chulalongkorn Department of Landscape Architects. And last semester, I was just taught there at GSD with the studio in Thailand. I also I have my 2 legs in the profession. I have one is social enterprise called Porous City Network, to really working on the climate issue and also the land process, which more like a sustainable landscape practice. Actually, I was invited to be a keynote speaker at the NAP. NAP is actually called National Adaptation Plan. So I think this is a significant thing because it's actually part of how UN will give the money to the country that write the proposal about climate change. And I'm sorry, I'm just trying to like wrap around many things before I'm getting into that project. And what I found in that meeting is like all this local government, the government from developing country and underdeveloped country try to pitch for this grant from the UN. So I think it's like year and a half, I was invited as a keynote speaker. And it was just like, why me? Why landscape architect? So I'm actually presenting the work that I think is kind of like the first work that get people to know who I am and what I'm doing and what I'm trying to do as a landscape architect. Is the Chulalongkorn Centenary Park, which is actually close part of the Chulalongkorn University, and they actually celebrate their centenary anniversary last 3 years ago. So this park was finished 3 years ago, and it's actually talking about green infrastructure in the city. And actually this park was visited by Mr. Antonio Guterres, the #1, the UN secretary right now, who's actually promoting so much about climate change. And he came to Thailand and he asked to visit this park, which I feel that this is very important. Not just me as a designer, not just Chulalongkorn as the university, but it's actually for the region, for the world, that the climate change is actually really crucial problem that we all facing right now. And even just like this small project can actually spark the aspiration to the other city. And I know that in this workshop of these 5 countries, I have talked to Ajahn Nam a little bit about you are working on propose some better solution for the EEC, the the eastern part of Thailand that would be changed pretty soon with all this the high-speed rail, all this land use changing, which I think I kind of skeptical a little bit about the EEC development. But of course, as a tendency of the government, it seems like we kind of stop this project. So the question is, if we kind of stop the project, how could we make it better? Or how could we use landscape architect, urban landscape architects, urban designer architect to make it better rather than creating more impact on climate change? So that was my, and also I was named as a 15 woman leading the fight against climate change. So I think there's so much about gender equity that really address the climate change issue. And also last year was named as Top 100 Influence People. This time it was with the Next. So it's actually the world is shifting to the younger generation. It actually puts so much hope and burden to all of our generation and all of your generation right now. So actually this year was named as the Green 30 for 2020 with many famous politicians, climate activists, the architect like Kotch and many world leader, world thinker. So I was really honored, but in a way, it's such an opening to our profession that the world actually need landscape architect for the solution, and especially within your project of EEC development. I think whatever you present or whatever we are working on as in this workshop would be really benefit to Thailand. Yes. So actually I was working in many projects, and we actually can, last year was teaching at Harvard and bringing students to really see the climate problem, especially what I'm dear to heart is the canal community, which I think is like the roots of our culture. And I just feel that this is important to Thailand, to Bangkok, to really preserve this cultural landscape. And when you're talking about developed landscape within the EEC zone, I just feel that the cultural landscape that is so important, and it's so much about food, it's so much about the richness of the landscape, that the natural wealth that is really like a key part of being Thai. But how could the development of EEC would not destroy the treasure that we have and we want to pass on to the next generation? Yeah, so was good to share the topic of climate change, of Thailand issues that will definitely similar issue to many other countries, and to all of you in this 5 countries. So this is the Chulalongkorn University. Since I won't touch a lot in this, but I want to share with you this video. Yes, so that was the short story of Chulalongkorn Centenary Park. And I'm sure that if there's no COVID or pandemic, which make this workshop as well going online, I'm sure that all of you will come to Thailand and would have chance to visit this park, which is within the university. And actually, there's so many of professor from the landscape department is part of the designing process of this park as well. So it's not just me myself, but it's actually the whole community of Chulalongkorn University. So this park got so many awards worldwide from ASLA, American Society of Landscape Architects, World Landscape Architecture, the Award of Excellence, the German Design Award. And I was wondering from the video that if you have chance to create like a new urbanization in the eastern part of Thailand, what can you learn from Bangkok? What can you learn from your own city? That the problem that we are having right now, the impact of extremely wet and extremely dry season. This year in Thailand was the most drought in the 50-year history of Thailand. And this year expecting so much rain that right now in the northern part of Thailand is flood. So I'm wondering, and I'm really eager to know all of your project, how would the water, either too much or too little, playing the role in your design? And for Centenary Park is actually using this small plot of land comparing to this whole concrete city to actually be part of restore the water by inclining the whole park and equip with many landscape elements like green roof, rainwater tank, wetland and retention pond. But rather than have it separately, all this element of landscape running as a one system. Yes, so whenever you have chance to come back to Thailand, our professor at Chula would definitely welcome you guys. So this retention pond will definitely double the size because the water edge is flexible, and we decided for it to keep more water when it's rained really hard. It's actually having the human touch of how people could bike and help cleaning the water at the end of this park. And actually right now is yes, this is the park in the evening time. And on the lower to the image on the left would be the normal case of the retention lawn. And on the right would be when it's flooded with a very heavy rain in Bangkok. So all these things that we think is the work of engineer is actually can be work of landscape architect and working with engineers. And I feel that I actually been invited to a keynote speaker at the EEC development meeting at the ASEAN Summit last year. And I present all this work to the audience, and they've been very surprised, like, oh, is this happen in Thailand? And can this happen in EEC? But actually, I just noticed that with the development of EEC is actually the landscape architect or the environmental planning is actually out from the equation. They actually think so much about development rather than thinking about what we need to preserve, what we need to give value, what profession we need to include to have a better development of EEC, and definitely they don't have landscape architect in that equation. It's quite surprised. And also when you think about the green infrastructure, you have to not only think very engineering, because we are landscape architect, we actually have to prioritize the people and how people are going to use the space while trying to incline all the whole park to collect the water. Many people say, yeah, only this park can actually retain 1 million gallons of water. And many people questioning like, why don't you like retaining more water? We actually have to balance out the function of the society, the need of the people, definitely be a part of the people. And they have to function and balance out the function of the ecological, the urban ecological that need to happen. So I just feel that, of course, if you want this park to only just to hold the water, you can just dig the big retention pond without any design, any park. So the challenge is how could you integrate the two together? And I think that's how good you are as a designer. Yes. And it's actually at the edge of the park, we have many outdoor classrooms, and it's actually not just the park, it's actually this park and this project that my team was involved is including the main road that connect the main outerly of Bangkok. And it's the first street that reduced the vehicle length, used to be 4 and reduced to 2, and planting with trees and rain garden. Yes, this is the street, this is the park. And it's actually got many world recognition to many medias. Of course, I'm grateful for all these things, but what I care more is about the solution and how we landscape architect can create a solution that would impact the future uncertainty that we will confront. Okay, actually would stop the first project briefly, just in case any of you, hi young men. We are actually classmates at GSD. Hi, Dr. Youngman.
Hi, Kotch. It's nice to meet you here.
I know, yes. So I'm actually just want to stop here a little bit, and maybe any of professor, lecturer, students want to ask any question or have conversation.
May I introduce also Herie from now she is a visiting scholar in Boston in Harvard.
Hi Herie, where are your face? Hi Herie. It's must be lonely out there. I'm sorry. Oh, you mute.
Turn off.
Turn on your microphone.
Yeah, please turn on your mic, Harry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said I was sorry that we couldn't meet at Harvard because of COVID. Just a month after the semester started, the COVID boomed, and then probably you did your studio with the online teaching.
Exactly,
it's dead, so we didn't get a chance to meet in person. But I'm so glad that I was able to listen your fantastic work, which I'm a big fan.
Yeah. It's such a weird time of the world. So yes, nice to meet you. Yes.
Very nice to meet you. God.
Any students have questions or want to share any thoughts and concerns? So should I continue? Okay. อาจารย์แหม่มอยู่ไหมคะวันนี้
Hi.
Oh, hi, อาจารย์แหม่ม สวัสดีค่ะ. I'm actually have a video at some point to show you that you used to come to Siam Green Sky and we taped you. Yeah, would be great. Yes.
Yeah, that was some years ago. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Ajahn Ma'am is actually a big fan of urban farming, and definitely want to learn so much from your lecture, the food mile, and definitely want to hear more about it. So I would actually, of course, we talk about urban farm, but we're actually talking about urban green infrastructure as well. So how could these two things be part of each other through landscape design is quite challenging. And I would like to share this project with you. Yes.
Nó cũng join rồi thấy người ta nhìn thấy đó. Cái này nó thầy hẳn rồi.
Yes, so this project is actually just got the award from Architizer A+ award as the project of the year, which I feel very honored. I feel very honored as a landscape architect in the project, feel very honored for the Thammasat University, and feel very honored for Thai as a country, because to get this the project of the year award, I think is big, and it's actually, we got this project together with Zaha Hadid on the Beijing International Airport and many other great architects. And I will go to that point later. So this is a project, is actually another university. If you may think about Chulalongkorn as the Harvard of Thailand, the Thammasat University would be Yale. So there are two pastry university of the nation. And this is the last piece of the whole big campus. This is not right downtown Bangkok like Chulalongkorn University, but this area was in the Rangsit area, which used to be rice field. Like the whole district was aimed by the King Rama V, like 100+ years ago, to aim Thailand to be the country to export the rice. So this area was filled with the rice fields. And so actually, this is the last piece of the university. So they want something very iconic architect. But the great part is we as a landscape architect have chance to start the project with the architect, which is Asom-Sin, which I'm very honored to work with. And the part of how this green roof look like, the big credit have to give to Asom-Sin as well. And the big credit definitely have to go to the client, like the Thammasat University, who got a vision. So this project is actually influenced from the rice paddy from the northern part of Thailand, and I'm sure in many of your country, there are this kind of architectural wisdom that combine the terrain of the mountain within the cultural living of landscape and of human. So what did I learn from the rice terraces? I'm actually learned that it's why can't it be part of architecture? Why can't it be part of how we looking at this concrete building? Why can't we looking at it as the mountain, as part of the ecology? So this project is actually slowed down the runoff, and it's actually slowed down 20 times. And at the fourth, other side, the four sides, the north, the east, the west, and the south, we actually have retention pond to collect the water. So in Thailand, when it's rain, it's like pouring, like so much water. And before we are going from agriculture country, and if you compare to the area that you guys are focus on right now and working on right now, it used to be what was Bangkok. So we used to live as a farmer, as an agriculturalist, we go orchard and things. But nowadays with urbanization. So I feel that Bangkok would be a good case study. What can EEC could be better. So we saw that the runoff, rather than right now, all the runoff is not benefit us as an urbanist. All the runoff is actually flood the whole city. Even not combining the water from the north, only just the seasonal raining, the whole city was flooded. So having architecture slow down the runoff, collect the rain can be the solution. And this work is actually working with landscape architect and architecture. So this is what many people say, oh, this is so much structure, it have to be an architect work. But the truth is we actually provide the construction drawing for this roof as a landscape architect. So as the architect giving us this roof to work on, we actually try to create the paddy field. We try to slow down the runoff, so we create layers. We're thinking about storm water. If a lot of water, how could this thing can drain easily, quickly, rather than giving the whole architecture to absorb all the weight. So we create the terrace, slope, planter, thinking as farmer on the mountain, what they would do with their mountains. We create ramped earth to actually design the route of the water and the water flow. So I think this would be kind of a one-leg conclusion for Thammasat urban farm rooftop. This is a section, the water flow. This is how this structure was on the double structure, because that's the reason, because beneath is the library and the archive, the library archive for Thammasat University. And they have such a very important artifact and the evidence that would be a history of the nation, such as the letter of how Dr. Priti Phanomyong used to write to Dr. Poi Eunpakorn, which is like a very significant how Thailand democracy become today as it is. So they decided this roof cannot be leaked. And without this technology of the green roof, is actually can prove that it's not going to be leaked. But for Thammasat University, for the client, they really insist that this roof cannot be leaked. Like can't, never, always, because it's actually in the previous campus at Thap Prajan, the library used to be like the underground library, and they have so much problem with the moisture. So they need like a good archive for all this document. So we decided to put the double roof, which is not necessary, but it's necessary for this condition. But having a double roof would actually save the energy for the building. Actually, having a green roof already save the temperature all around the building and in the interior underneath the building. They say it would reduce, this is the research from the Western, that will reduce the heat to 3 to 4 degrees Celsius by having a green roof. So it's actually reduce the energy of the architecture by create the insulation. But as slowing down the runoff, you may imagine like seeing this kind of green roof be a lawn. But no, we actually got the idea from the Ajahn Parinya, who's the head of sustainability department of Thammasat University. Like, I want all these things to go food for the campus. And I just like, yeah, this is a great idea, because this is such a big roof. And for me as a landscape architect, I wouldn't want to have lawn or have all these flowers and shrubs and things with so much maintenance. So whatever we have to maintenance anyway, we should create the maintenance way that produce or be productive for our lifestyle. So all this picture was actually on top of the building. If you think about the roof space, you might think about the place for hiding all this engineer machine, the air condition, and all this ugly thing that is hiding up there. But those waste space of the city can actually benefit us. And I got these questions a lot, like, there's so much space on the ground. Why don't you grow the food on the ground? But reality is we actually don't have that much space anymore. Number one. Number two, this is not about growing food on the ground. Of course, it's much better than growing food on the building, but it's actually turning the concrete roof that create us so many other problems, like urban heat island, which actually part of the PM 2.5 air pollution. Is actually make each building use so much energy from the air conditioning and many more. This waste space is actually killing us as city landscape grow over time. So urban farming is actually part of the solution to reduce the bigger problem. I'm not gonna fighting with all this comment that growing food on the ground is better. Yes, I do agree, but we actually looking at the bigger picture of how all this waste space can actually be part of your solution. And the other benefit that this green roof give to the campus is the circular economies of food, and the university not necessarily need to buy food from the other place. They're having the organic waste that this big farm, this one is the biggest in Asia. This big farm need all the organic waste in the campus to grow more food, to fertilize all this plantation. So it's not actually fighting about growing food on the ground is much better and cheaper than growing food in the campus, but it's actually turning around your lifestyle and the way you think about the waste space in the architecture or in the urban area as well. And I think, yeah, I have so many points to touch, but yeah, let's. And also the public space. This green roof have several, on the top is like amphitheater, and you can see from the gray color, it's like a big place to hold this solar cell. Why we need solar cell here? It's actually for the roof. So we have for retention pond. So all the runoff would be kept, and this solar roof will power the pump from all the water to be kept and drain down to all this plantation. So by growing food on this roof is actually could need no electricity, because from the fossil fuel, but the electricity was created from the clean source. So I think is kind of rethink the way we think about architecture and the way we think about how we grow food. And one thing that I really concerned as a Thai citizen, because you might think about Thai food and you may think about this is the place that import food to the world. But the other reality is we actually import pesticides, the top 5 country in this world, from the US. And yes, definitely many are from the US. And all these pesticides, I can't remember exact name, paraquat, definitely one. And the other 2 is something like that. But those 3 the chemical pesticides was actually banned in those countries that produce, and banned in many other countries that around Asia. But in Thailand, we don't ban these 3 pesticides or even more. So we're actually exporting poison to all of you and definitely to all of us who eating the rice, the food, the vegetable. By having this green roof, you're actually building the new generation of how people should eat, how not just food security, we actually talk about food safety. It's so important because I'm sure with this, this number is actually also the fact to many other countries. Thai people has died with cancer. Like the most death of the Thai people is cancer for 10+ years and still continues. And part of it, I'm sure, is coming from the lifestyle. And part of the lifestyle is how you eat. And I think to be the world kitchen, to be the world food producer, you should lead the organic or the safe food to the world, not just pesticides food. So I'm actually thinking that having an urban farm rooftop at Thammasat University or any elsewhere is not about only trying to compare to the traditional agriculture, but I'm actually think that it will shift the way we think about urbanization, the way we think about architecture, the way we think about the food security, food safety. And all this picture was actually they actually create food from the waste space of architecture, which we have tons, the millions of square meters. Yes, and it's actually create a sense of community, definitely. And especially during COVID, I think this topic is really relevant to many low-income community that is much better to save the food cost in the family or in the household and actually get the safe food as well. So yes, this project was kind of get many intention, and last week was award as project of the year from Architizer A+ award, which I'm really surprised because I submit this as a public space, and of course we are the winner of that category. But with all category, we also was select or invited as an honorary on the year best project. And it's not just I'm happy to getting award, my team getting award, Thammasat University name was worldwide known in this profession, but I'm actually questioning that the landscape solution can make architecture more relevant to the environmental degradation that we are confronting right now. So right now, I'm still working on the park in front of this building and thinking about many other things as well. Yes, that's, it's such a long presentation. Let's have a break, and anyone have any questions? And yes.
I think I have one, Kotch. Can you tell us about the management of the rooftop? Who does the management, and what is the routine?
Yeah, that's a great question. Having the green roof is really about the maintenance of the roof, and I think that's really important because I will show you the next case that I did, and that's failed because of the maintenance and the program. Is really relevant to Thammasat University because they have 40,000 day population. So they have students, they have their staff, they have professor. So it's a big community, and they have canteen, right? So they have place that would want good vegetable. And for the worker, they actually hire the staff after the working hour to give them more incentive of working on this by when they sell all the vegetable to the canteen. All the worker that help volunteer or whatever, not volunteer, with students, with the staff, would get the benefit from the money that would get from the canteen or from the restaurant that buy the vegetable, so that they actually have income by participating with this urban farm. Yes, the urban farm maintenance. And this thing was think with the Ajahn Parinya and the university. So they create this program to keep this roof alive and keep the urban farming going, which I think is a great idea. And next month, they would have like 1,000 students in one subject that will come and help seeding. So the whole programs of the urban farm is actually designed to parallel the semester of the academic years. So when they start the semester, they start seeding. When they want to harvesting, is actually about the end, towards the end of the semester, which is like 4 months, which is about like the rice period. But if they go vegetable, they will have a monthly harvesting. Yes, so I think it's how it works.
Perfect. Yeah. Thanks. Good.
Yeah, please come and help.
I have a question, but first of all, I would like to congratulations for your awards.
Oh, thank you. Congratulations to the profession as well. I think it's the first time architect give to the landscape architect. Sorry.
Project. It's like must visit place. Yeah, not just for landscape designer to learn, but for all other visitors as well. So I still want to see Thammasat University. Yeah, didn't have a chance yet. Yeah, and thank you for sharing with us. Very interesting and very inspiring projects. And I think it's quite a good example, right, to see the integration of ecology, inspiration with modern technology that create beautiful landscape for public space. And I just wonder, like, how did you come up with such a unique concept and those unique design gesture for each of your projects?
Oh my God, it's such a tough question. But actually, I think this is the most funnest part of being a designer, creating the right form, the right concept to match with the use of human. And I think there's so many, my concept, I don't know, as a person, it's very simple. Even with Chulalongkorn, Centenary Park, it's just, you just incline the whole park. It's not something very deep. It's not something like very, something that hard to explain, because I just feel that when I work with the public space and I work with many clients, not just one client, it's very important how you convince them with your design too. It's not about, yeah, let's do urban farm, and it's our turn, right? It's our profession to give its form and what is the right form. And it's so much I learned from the nature, and actually I've learned so much from Dr. Danai. You guys should, if you're in Thailand, another good teacher, my teacher would be Dr. Danai, who I feel that when I learned from him, he got so much inspiration from the nature. and how the nature working. And it's not just like a pure nature, like a science, but it's actually about human shaping nature. And I think this is also become my inspiration in many other work. And if you have concept thinking, you would have signature on your design. I wouldn't want people to see Chula Centenary Park and then remember that, oh, Thammasat is actually, of course, if they know from reading, but if they know from seeing this true project by eyes and recognize the designer, I think it's not fair. Right? You have to do so much research on who's your client, what they want, what's the condition, and what creativities you can combine. And I just feel that rice terraces with this condition was really good. Yes. Thank you. We met at the Sapan Duan opening. Yes. Any question? I tried. Oh my gosh! It must be so late in Boston. You should go to bed. No worries. You can come and see the video later.
All pumped up.
I would go to bed if I were you. Not worth it. Not worth it.
May I have the same presentation for my Turkish colleagues in Istanbul? When I go back to Istanbul, can I call you and can we make a presentation?
Please. Yeah, yeah. Anything that can benefit further and give more young generation the hope that this is possible. Yeah, talk to other 5 countries. This is possible in Bangkok. That means it's also possible in other countries. But I'm lucky because I'm working with the government sector, which is university. So Chula and Thammasat has the integrity of being a leader in this field and in the thinking. So I think I would have to honor the great clients to begin with. But I just feel that, yeah, with many other projects, we still, of course, developing country in a way. Even Bangkok looks so developed, but if you go to other part of the country, there's so much there's so much equity work that we still need to fix. And I just feel that, yeah, just email me. Yeah, would love to be in touch.
Great, thanks.
I have some small. Oh, Young Min, you can say something, please?
Hello, Young Min. Don't give me a hard question.
I just have a few questions. Yeah.
I got your video. Don't
first of all, I'm really proud of you, Kotch, and as a classmate, and also as the landscape in general. So, the landscape architect as general, and I have actually 2 questions. As you mentioned a lot about relationship between the architects, and I think you're the really rare case that kind of overwhelming those architecture work, because if in Korea we have such kind of project, architect will take all the credits because it's a roof, it's my building, and what's the kind of relationship between the field of architecture and landscape architecture in Thailand? And because even we have both experience in the United States, but even the James Corner, when he built the High Line, the Telescopedio kind of takes some part of the credit. So my first question is, how do you manage those kind of tension and those big kind of big egos of architecture field and kind of be in the front? And my second question is, Okay, so your works are really amazing, and it's great to see those public works in Bangkok. But when I see the client, it's not like public. It's semi-public, like universities and some kind of a corporation. And there's a lot of like parks run by or built by like city governments or I don't know, the municipality, which may not have in a good quality. The same in Seoul, you know, private projects always good, and you know, the public area funded by public and managed by public. What's your kind of opinion about those the public project like run and managed by the pure public municipality, and those kind of funded, like I know the Chulalongkorn has a bunch of fundings. So all the worlds, there's kind of a gap between those private like landscape and projects and then public. And what's the difference? Is there any problem in Thai about the public and private sections?
Great question, young man. Definitely, you kind of hit to the point. And I think the first question is working with architect as well. I think the first thing is you have to start the project with them. It's such a key to form your landscape solution. If you start the project with them, I feel that we as a landscape architect, of course we can do garden, but when you talk about designing the garden, you have the boundary line, even how big it is, even it's a park size. But if you only think about, when you design, you only think about the boundary and you just create things within the boundary, I feel that you only do the garden technique. But if you're a landscape architect, you have to think out from the boundary and, you know, like make the influence of all the context things and many other things. I think this is how we're different. But normally, architects in Thailand, I wouldn't say everyone, but some of them or most of them, before thinking that we are, of course they call us landscape architect, but they just give the leftover space when they finish all their building and give to us. So don't act as you are gardening. Be a landscape architect, be the real landscape architect, be the designer of the ecological system of the building, of the place, of the land. And I think that's something that I would urge many landscape architects to start the project with architect rather than come at the end when they give you the leftover space. Oh, put me the garden, put me the swimming pool. No, we can do more than that, right? Number one. And number two, I just feel that it's such a very hard when, of course, I think it's very, you have to be very respectful within this profession because this is their work, it's our work. Of course, in Thai culture and in many cultures, we have to be very humble in what we do. But of course, we have to be very clear that this is our part. This is how we're creating with architects or urban design. And I think that's still a case. And of course, sometimes I'm a landscape architect that use a garden technique because some client already hired the architect before us. So start with them and be very clear on the work. But in the creative part, it's very hard to define that this is your work, this is that work, because in Chulalongkorn University Park, I'm actually just gonna share this project. In Chulalongkorn University Park, I'm actually working with an architect, my very good friends since school. And I'm also working with him on this project, which I want to share with all of you. It's just opened last month. And I think it's gonna touch what Young Min have asked, the second one, and also the first one at the credit. So I think that this is a public work that is not done, it's a government work, but it's not the university. And this is the picture from 30, almost 40 years ago. Like I was just born or 1 or 2 years old to, yeah, it's like almost 40 years, yes. So this was the Sky Train. It's called Skyline Labyrinth Sky Train. Supposed to be the first Sky Train route from the nation and for the Southeast Asian country. But with the corrupted, with the politic change, this route has shifted to Sathon, what we're having right now, what Thai people using it right now. So this structure is called Ambutan, like this like free floating is just left unused for 40 years. So we actually working with mayor, like, so right now it's not intricate, it's not about Chula Thammasat University. This time is about for the government, the real government. And I have to give a big credit to the urban design, which is Ajahn Dang, who's like in the orange of this picture. Her team is called UDDC. So she actually created the urban project, urban planning to celebrate Bangkok to its 250th anniversary. So she worked with the previous mayor, which I helped, and she worked with the present mayor, Kun Aswin, Tan Aswin, to actually create this project. So this project, I would claim that I'm a designer. I'm a physical designer. I'm not the one who initiated this project, like, right? So this is, I think it's very, very correct, very clear that it need more than just urban designer to be part of this project. So working with urban design, working with many factors, and working with the architect, the friend behind me who also working at the Chulalongkorn University together, I feel that we have to form, we have to listen to what the planner have told us. We have to listen what the community participatory conclusion from their side and get that information to create the actual project. So this bridge, which being called as a park, is the first park across the river in the capital city in the world. It's beat the Garden Bridge from the London because it's actually over budget. They say they need to use £2 million for that project, but we actually used £3 million to finish this project. But it's only possible because of the UDDC working with BMA to initiate this possibility. And it's actually the project called Hedwig. The park is actually not across, but it's a floating park in New York. When I say beat, it means it's finished before. And right now the park was opened. And I think the big credit should go to those who make it possible in the beginning. The BMA, the mayor, the two mayors. This which took 2 mayors' term is difficult. But compared to Thammasat and Chulad, of course, I feel it's even more difficult, but all these 3 projects would be categorized as difficult. And actually it was finished. So in terms of the form, in terms of the use of the bridge, and in terms of things, it has been created by using by using what has been given to us and create the form. So this is existing, and it's called amputant, which in Thai we call duan. Duan is like you have no head, you have no tail. So this structure was free floating and actually cannot access. So when we design the park, when we elevate many other things, I won't go into details, but we actually have to imagine standing on there because we cannot go up because it's amputant, have no head and have no tail, like we can't go up. And right now, this is the what it's like today.
สวนลอยฟ้าเจ้าพระยาแลนด์มาร์คแห่งใหม่ของกรุงเทพมหานครที่ใครๆก็ต้องมาเช็คอิน
So I actually think that when you do a public work, it's so hard that you need to get everyone who's working on it the credit. And don't forget to get the credit for yourself as well, landscape architect. We actually need to make the world understand that our solution is necessary. So yes, this is another project. I think it would take me another hour to explain, but yes, this is another one that it's not easy, but you can't give up easily. Yes. Sorry, young man, probably not answer how exactly, but it's actually, it's so much about politics. It's so much about how you convince people. It's so much about how you give credit. Like you cannot get 100. You have to like sacrifice something to make things move forward. So I just feel that this is what I learned, and I'm still learning as a designer. Yes.
Okay, so I think I throw some small questions. Actually, continuing from Professor Harrier, the Thammasat project, you mentioned about the academic program that going to be using it. So I was wondering, you know, when we finish the project, the first year, the first 2 years, first 2-3 years, it looked nice, but how did you have some kind of frame to give to the users or the people that involving in the rooftop? Otherwise, you know, you already planned very nice. I can see that you have some of the brownish area, the light green, the dark green, and yeah, I also what is that brown thing, and what is the do you have some kind of ideas behind that, and do you want to keep it, or you can up to the activity or up to the Thammasat University that they can change in some kind of way? Maybe you can share some idea about the frame.
Thank you so much, Ajahn. I think this is such a great questions, and I get that a lot, and I'm sure just a second, let me stop this video. Of course, once again, the credit go to BMA, UDDC, but the physical design of architect go to N7A, and landscape is me, land process team. Okay, great. Again, people like really complain so much. Oh, it looks so ugly right now. But you know what? We have to educate people about the aesthetic. And it's not a perfect landscape that when you hire a landscape architect, you expect something like 5-star resort, golf course. This is agriculture. This is rice. You have to cut it. You have to make it, the plot have to be empty sometimes. I don't know, I try to find the picture that people looking and feel is messy, is ugly, but I just feel that this is the aesthetic. And within Chulalongkorn Park, I get so much complaining about maintenance. But of course, we need maintenance. But as a designer, we already use something that low maintenance. Like if you're looking on top of the Chula, is like a lot of grass, lots of like native plants, which doesn't look like a French garden that you have to cut like this. So I think some perception, people feel that someone say, if we don't do this, like cutting as a pattern, it doesn't call landscape at all, which I feel that this thing still need to educate the changing aesthetic of the field. And of course, it look messy, and sometimes they cut the glass and they change the vegetable. It's normal, yes, if you want to do urban farm. But what I want to share with you, okay, let's share. Oh, this is the bridge park. It's take like almost 5 years. Well, this one, Prime Minister opened. This one is actually the first urban farming on the rooftop in Thailand. And I'm actually created like 5 years or 6 years ago. And I want to share with you that it was a great project. It's got so much good positive feedback, and people love it. And Ajahn Ma'am actually came, and yeah, sometimes like the brownishes look like that. The kids come, sometimes it look like this. It's nature, is actually part of landscape. We're not talking about cosmetic landscape. We're talking about real landscape. Sometimes we put a workshop, sometimes we create this patterning color. It was so successful. We invite professor about urban farm to our workshop. So let me share with you what is look like before and what it look like today. This is different. And I'm actually trying to finish this within 10 minutes.
No video.
Oh, no video?
Cannot see anything.
Sorry.
Yeah, just still picture.
I'm sorry, I have to stop share and share again. Okay ค่ะ See เห็นแล้วนะคะอาจารย์
โอเค
Okay.
มาแล้วครับ
Oh, this is so exciting. This is like the first time I'm doing urban farming on the rooftop, and I'm convinced of course Chulalongkorn again, but in the commercial part. This is like Siam Square, really like Shinjuku of Thailand. It's actually my first project. This is edible flower.
สวัสดีครับวันนี้ก็อยากจะขอพูดถึงโครงการสยามกรีนสกายนะครับว่าไทยเนี่ยเป็นชั้นดาดฟ้านะครับหรือในอีกมีน้อยนะครับถึงเวลาที่มีฝนตกก็ยังสามารถช่วยชะลอความเร็วในการระบายน้ำฝนออกจากตลาดทางได้ดี
ค่ะก็สยามกรีนสกายนะคะโหเปิดมายอดเยี่ยมเต็มไปด้วยฟีดแบ็กที่ดีแล้วก็เดี๋ยวแป๊บนึงนะคะขออนุญาตแชร์อีกอันนึงอาจารย์คะขอแชร์สกรีนอีกได้ไหมคะอ๋อได้ละทำไมแชร์สกรีนเราไม่ไป
คือจริงๆตอนมานี่แล้วใช้พื้นที่ดาดฟ้าให้ได้อย่างมีน้อยอันนี้ก็เป็นการเรายังไม่เคยรู้จักพื้นที่ที่เป็นพื้นที่สีเขียวสาธารณะได้อย่างมีน้อยอันนี้ก็เป็นการเหมือนกับประยุกต์ใช้พื้นที่ดาดฟ้าให้เกิดประโยชน์ทั้งทางด้านสังคมแล้วก็สิ่งแวดล้อมด้วย I think it's very important to show people the possibilities. At least you want to get an idea of what is possible, so like we can still think about if we can implement it or not.ก็ได้ทำกิจกรรมหลายอย่างค่ะแล้วก็ได้อยู่กับดินอยู่กับธรรมชาติหายากค่ะเป็นสถานที่ที่ดีนะคะแล้วก็เป็น
ค่ะก็ stop sharing oops เฮ้ยอาจารย์แป๊บนึงค่ะถ้ากลับมาที่ซูมอาจารย์ตอนนี้มันเป็นยังไงนะคะหน้าจอมันเป็นซูมใช่ไหมคะ
เป็นเดสก์ท็อป
อ๋อเป็นเดสก์ท็อปทำยังไงดีกลับไปที่ซูมต้อง stop sharing โอเค
stop sharing
โอเคค่ะค่ะก็ปัจจุบันตอนนี้เนี่ยสยามกรีนสกาย
English please
ลืมตัวอาจารย์แบบว่าเปลี่ยนเยอะไปนิดนึงโอเค in English version now okay ค่ะ back to the slide so I think right now it looks like this and the problem is there is some policy change of the place and the management team was changed and the money supporting is not there and at that time it's like the first one and it's not really I haven't think through of how to run it and when I as a designer even how hard I try I'm still a designer so it's so much needed for the client or the owner of the place the owner of the project to think along with me or with us so when the management team changed they have cut down the money and they want this place to either generate more money because of course it's like right downtown across the Paragon and things so this is what the answer of Ajahn Shimawong really clear that first thing, the aesthetic is different. The second thing is we actually need to partner with so many people, and without without maintenance it's not going to work. The design part is very simple, but the design of maintenance or design of keep it going is actually very challenging. Okay, I'm actually gonna try to finish this soon, so you guys can take a break. This is another urban farm that I did on top of the hospital. This is at the Rama Hospital, one of the biggest government hospital in Thailand. And of course, when you go to the campus, it's hardly have space, even space for people to walk. So the only left space is the unused helipad. So we actually, this is after design, we actually create using the waste and have place for the staff to come, and the urban farm table for the patients, involve the user to do the programs. And it's actually such a wonderful space. And it's an urban farm. It's actually called Healing Garden. And being a healing garden, doing an urban farm is actually very healing. So there's so much benefit of urban farming aspect. Green infrastructure, healing, food security, climate change, oh my gosh, so much. And yeah, even with many other projects I involved, even on the bridge park, I also use many edible plants, which not very agreeable to many of the BMA, because they feel that, oh, this is not a flower plants. I want people to take shot with flowers. But yeah, I try to sneak in all these vegetable edible plant and try to like whisper the citizen, the city, that there's so many green space that can be productive, and we should rethink about this. Yes, I think I'm done, ค่ะอาจารย์ เหนื่อยแล้ว พูดเยอะ
Okay, so that's all the slide that you prepare for the
yeah,
talk.
I think too much. I think people get bored. They want to relax now.
Okay, so that's.
I don't think so, Coach, because now the participant only Young Min left. Only one person left, which is Young Min.
I think they all left, but they just don't.
Oh no, 51 participants now in the room. Maybe some of you can speak out, your voice out, and ask her the question, please. It's the only opportunity to meet that ladies.
Also, I want, yes, I want to encourage students. If you want to test your idea or ask Kotch anything, I think this is a good time.
I want to thank you, Kotchakorn, for a very inspiring lecture, and I just I think like we are doing that online like new normal workshop, so it's pretty difficult for everyone to like participate. But this is like very good chance like to like share your ideas or like ask the speakers, and yeah, I really appreciate all your work. I already visited like most of it. Only the Thammasat I haven't been there yet, but I plan to go very soon. And I know that the design part is not easy, but the part to like really make it happen, and especially in like a public project, like in such a large scale project that involves many stakeholders, that like really difficult and challenging. So I think this is very amazing that you can like make it happen. And I totally understand when you said you have to like sacrifice some part like to really keep the project going and happen. And so I think in school, when like in this project, when students like work on the the site that we have to decide, it seemed like there's like many things going on, and they focus on like the ecology of the site, like different tree species and like land and water and like different land use. But people are like probably be one of the main key that we have to think about and like take them into considerations. And yeah, I really like enjoy your lecture. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ค่ะ อาจารย์แหม่ม I agree with you. And one thing, of course, even I take so much credit, but I just feel that it's sometimes you have to what you call sacrifice something to move forward the project. I used to be very stubborn, actually fighting with committee on SpecialLecture Park. Like, no, it has to be this way.
I know. Yeah, you want to make it perfect, and like sometimes you're like, okay, I'll give up that part to make everything happen.
Yeah, and I need to involve those person idea, which is I don't agree or disagree, but try to nurture those to become one. And I feel very thankful for those learning experience as a designer. And I feel that. And one person came and asked to me, do you want to have it built or do you want to win? So I just like, oh my gosh, yeah, I want this to happen. Not that I want just to be called winner, but I'm lost in the battle, right? So it's very important. And actually to the project that you instruct right now, or all of the students, I feel that yeah, it's have to play a role of humans, and of course, not all humans are thinking the same way as you.
Right.
Like those developers, those politicians, what they want, they should get what they want. They should be the one who open and say about the project first. That's fine. You can wait, or they can be the one who like take pride of the project. We all need to do that, and actually. Yes, I feel that it's very challenging.
Yeah, and it's kind of like I know that like we have like our belief and we know that this is like good, the best things, the best solution for the site, but sometimes you have to compromise. Like our site is like impossible to like preserve everything because like the climate change that's happening and the industrial development is coming, so you have to like compromise and try to like suggest the best solution that think about like all the stakeholders.
Yeah, you have to compromise the budget as well. Let's say Thammasat University. Okay, the university give me this, let's say 100 baht budget. Architect take 90 something already. And okay, this is my aspiration. I want to do this thing, and this is only money left. How could you do? So I'm actually talking about do your best and compromise and many other things. So yeah, thank you for your question and your comments.
And one more thing, like a little thing, like when you talk about the Chulalongkorn Centennial Park, and there's a part that looks very kind of rough, like you use like kind of like native glasses and things like that. And I mean, like as a designer, so we know that it's good for the habitat, and it doesn't look like website with like perfect prunings, like hedge or anything, and still public like criticize that part. But I think they will learn that if we want the city with like biodiversity, you have to accept that all tree doesn't have to be like in perfect shape and look exactly the same, because that's not like organic like part of the city. So you have to like allow some part that good for the bees and like butterflies, and maybe it's not like decorative gardens for humans.
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh, Ajahn ma'am, I'm fighting with BMA so much about the plant on the bridge. Like, and oh my gosh, it looks so bad and is need change, but they love those hedge like chakwaya. They just like love those things, and they love what else? เหมือนชอบดอกดาวเรืองอะไรอย่างเงี้ยใช่แบบ which I think is acceptable, but in some area, right? But please don't do the whole bridge, something like that. It's just have to like, okay, you can do at the beginning, like when the prime minister came and opened, so they can see your flowers. But that is a lot of sacrifice. Like, oh my gosh, the beginning part would have to be this and that. But overall, it's benefit to the people, which is fine. Yes.
Yeah, I think we're learning and they're learning too. And that, I mean, I wish like they see like Millennium Park in Chicago, like during like November when everything is so dry. And even I understand the concept, I was kind of shocked at the first time because it's like a big public park in the middle of the city, but it's all like dry. And the concept is to like let everything be in that like seasonal, like natural state, and it will be green again, and they will be like blooming and have flowers again when the times come. But you cannot have like flowers all year round. I mean, you cannot have real flowers all year round. In the city.
Yeah, even us, when we see a bad like planting like built and look bad, we still like questioning, but we actually have to let's introduce the new aesthetic of ecology, because actually Thai people love flower, and every time they just put flower, but it's not that season. It's so expensive sometimes, and they don't appreciate the aesthetic of agriculture. And that is what Ajahn Mam says, seasonal change. So I just feel that we have to promote this more and view from the different aesthetic. Yes, brown also beautiful.
Yes.
Maybe.
That's true, exactly.
Hi, I'm Sylvia.
Hi, Sylvia.
Hi, I'm actually from one of the tutors from Hong Kong. Our school is VI. It's a new vocational university. So we are really happy to be here. We've joined this workshop for 3 years already. And I've seen a lot of your projects on the magazine, but it's the first time. I'm really glad that we get to hear from you personally. And I find this particular project that you did really interesting. Is it Chao Phraya Sky Park?
Yes.
I find it really interesting that you had in between the two freeways that you actually have this floating piece. I mean, it seems like all your work is very bold and has one very strong idea, and I think it's really inspiring for the students to learn from that. And also one comment about how to work with different professions. I think from my experience, from practice, actually, it's really important to, like you said, it's really important to show respect for each other, because from the very beginning, when you work with how much weight the roof can take for our plants, for all our planting on the rooftop, that is already a beginning conversation with the engineers, and where they can put the vents and everything on your rooftop. It's also something very important to start from the beginning, because otherwise, without this conversation and mutual respect with each other, it's actually really hard to carry through with the project. And I think it's a really important message for the students as well, that it's not just about landscape architects, it's also about the importance of architects and engineers in every project. Then you can have a really good team and have a really good result.
Sylvia, I think you touched a very important point, and I think I wouldn't take the credit from the work that I did. Is only come from me, but I'm a landscape architect of the project, of course. And I just feel that the boldness is actually come from architects sometimes, or come from fighting your battle with the architect. Like, and sometimes it's, when I say fighting, it's not a bad thing, but it's about you try to compromise.
Make them see a different way.
The best solution for the project, for the client. Yes. And I love to work independently. Like, I'm a landscape architect of the landscape architect firm, rather than I'm the department of landscape with the bigger umbrella of architect, which I just feel that I will become a gardener in the sudden.
Yeah, yeah,
They were like,
absolutely.
okay, let me finish my building. No, 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 no. Think about your building with us, with me.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
yeah, then where's my water goes? You want this place should have a plant. This place should be where people stop or something like that. So
Yeah.
I just feel that we have to be more proactive, definitely. But yeah, the best idea come from all the team, not just
Yes.
you, not just me. I'm sorry, but people might misunderstood that I'm the designer of the project. Well, no, all this project have architects, have urban designer, have great engineer that I work with and learn from. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia.
Kotch, I know that you are limited time, but it will be really inspirational for the students if you give some information about the land process, your firm, and how did you start it? It was a challenge probably in the beginning, but how did you conquer it and became the world-renowned landscape architect? And how do you ground yourself with all the fame came all of a sudden, and then what do you do? With what kind of mechanisms do you use not to get too much carried away with that fame thing, but focus on your work and try to make difference
That's very good point. I have a team, definitely. Pin, come here. Pin, come share your face. Pin is actually my first employee, my first staff. We're still together. Yes, and yeah, I think I owe so much with him, and without him, I couldn't have a land process. Thank you. So I actually have a good team, and also yeah, but we actually start from small. We actually start from the competition Chulalongkorn, and at that time it's only 4 of us, like with like student graduate. This is also very important person. Pom is like design director, great landscape architect. Of course, it's not all the ideas cannot come from my one brain. It's actually come from many other. It's like right now it's like 12 us, and we I'm actually having a firm. It's not my dream, right? I just feel that if it's your dream, I probably put Kotchakorn studio or something. It's actually not my dream, but my dream was actually working in the public space. So at that time, Chulalongkorn University, which is like my school, my everything, all the teachers give me a career, a life. So I'm actually owe so much for the department and for the university. Have a competition of Chulalongkorn University, and you have to be a profession to be able to submit. So arrange all the firm and things and bid for this, and actually I won our team, even we are small, and I'm very grateful for. I would encourage students to do competition and expect to win. Not expect just to learn and do it, because you're gonna have that anyway. Expect for you to win, and how to do that is gonna increase your ability of learning, increase your energy of putting in. So don't just, oh yeah, I'm just do it because I want to do it. No, no, no. If you do competition, you want to win, like mentally. So you really give energy to yourself. So it's come from competition and come from the passion that I want to do public space, because we don't. Chulalongkorn Centenary Park is the first park in 30 years of Bangkok. I mean, central Bangkok. Crazy, 15 million people, growing city, stopless, like limitless, with no park. So as a student trying to observe yourself, like what kind of projects suit me? And it's fine if you love something decorative, the resort, private sector. I think that's fine too, but you can integrate sustainability with those kind of work. But don't forget sustainability, but you can do whatever you want as a landscape architect in which scale that you like. Yes, I think that's how and the second question, I would thank you so much to COVID. It made everything stop, and otherwise I really struggling actually as a single mom, as landscape architect, and I travel like crazy these 2 years. And without COVID, and actually this year would be mostly in other country. But I just feel that, of course, you want to tell the world, tell everyone what is your passion. But you also definitely, what you ask is very crucial. I also want to produce work. And that is my initial inspiration to become a landscape architect, right? So I have to find a way to keep that going. And I just feel that having COVID, of course, we suffer as the world, but I just feel that there's so many benefits that we can learn from COVID situation, like this kind of workshop platform. I think is probably save money, save energy, save the commute of the plane so much. And I just feel that maybe we have more time with each other rather than, in a person. And I just feel that personally it's actually a pause period for me, and I'm sure for many people, to rethink their life and work-life balance. So I'm still struggling before COVID, but I feel very at ease to stop travel and work. And that is my initial inspiration to be a landscape architect. Yes.
Thanks.
I have some top secret as a teacher of Kotchakorn.
Yes, it's part who I own my life for.
So, as the teacher of Kotchakorn, I think her personality and her gut in doing everything, especially how she voiced out on every moment. I mean, I remember when she was our school. Anyone want to know? Anyone want to know? She was in a workshop and installation, right? Installation or something that you have to work with the other children, the other students. And also one of that is what I can remember is the one that lucky draw to get the flight to go to France or something. You remember?
No, I can't.
No,
maybe
what?
wrong person na Chan ha.
No, not wrong person. I definitely remember you. So she always voiced out, and she always expressed her opinion, and this is what I would like our students to do, not only in class but also in the workshop, in any competition. That what she already explained and mentioned about the competition. You not only have the aim to join the competition because your teacher told you to do so, but you have to do but by your heart, and Kotchakorn did that, have been doing that for all the time. So I think this is very important. So I think Kotchakorn already explained many things about her work, her failure, her success, and also the work, the projects. Actually, I invite her to be the juror on Monday, but unfortunately, she had to go other places, so it's not possible for her to join our jury. But any student, I would like to hear from you, because if I told you that when Kotchakorn was our student, she always raised her hand and ask question and answer question. And when we ask anybody want to present the project, even though she has already presented her project in the first project, and usually we will avoid the same person to present the next project, but she always says, I want to present, I want to present. Is
oh
that
my
true?
gosh, oh my gosh.
That true?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. I just feel it's part of the learning. Yes.
Yeah. So I would like to encourage everybody, all the students, to do like this, and one day you're going to be celebrity like her.
Oh no, don't do it because you will become celebrity. And I'm not a celebrity. Thank you, Hazanam. I'm actually really, yes. I feel that it's really important for you, and especially if you are Asian woman or if you are woman. Of course, I'm not like racist or anything, but I just feel that in this profession we have so much females, but when we think about landscape architect, who's on top is become white male in the sudden. And I just feel that we need to help each other, and we need to be strong and wise ourselves. Yes. Yeah, like let's the world heard about us. Yes. Hello ค่ะนี่เลคเชอร์มันยังสอบอยู่ปะ
Any student want to ask question?
Okay, no student นะคะ I think ค่ะอาจารย์
You type in chat and they kind of they don't really talk.
Oh my God, don't be shy. Look at my face. I'm still
Even if you don't have questions, you can like give the comment or like yeah. I'll say thank you to her in person instead of like typing in the chat.
Yeah, I'm actually very understand that like people have very different character, and for me to become who I am today, I'm actually developed from like increase my ability of speaking so much. And I think one turning point for me is TED Talk, and of course you can type my name on the TED Talk, like, and I just feel that at that time when I did the Centenary Park, people don't understand about the design. People only think that, oh, it's a park of Chula centenary anniversary. And I just feel like, no, this is not enough. And there's so many design afterward want to change things around the King Monument, the King Rama IX Monument, and many other things. And I just feel like, oh, I can't just let this project go. Of course, as a hard work with the team to get it to finish. But when people don't talk about it, when people don't understand about it, it's nothing. It's like the face that I remember. If you are not for yourself, who will, right? Yes, if you are not for yourself, who will? So I'm actually applying for TED Fellows, which is really hard. Even they say it's harder than getting to Harvard. So the slim chance to get there will be the 20 people around the world applicants. And when I get to that point, I pitch my idea. Of course, to get to that point, I pitch my idea about this park. And of course, at that time, I'm really not confident about myself, about my idea, because it's like my first park and who cares? So when I'm pitched that work and went to go to TED Talk and fail many times to get the speech on the stage until so much practice and things, and until I get the opportunity to be on the TED stage, which is really international. And I just feel that this is an opportunity that you have to seek for yourself. It's not about in a sudden you become famous and if people come and chase after you. No. All this work, all this press, all this magazine thing, we work for it. We, the one who reach to them. Don't wait until you're famous. you actually have to be the one who create that thing. It's not about sitting and doing nothing, but it's really about make it happen. Yeah. Yes. อาจารย์คะเดี๋ยวจะไปแล้วอะค่ะ มีใครถามไหมคะ ถ้าไม่มีเดี๋ยว
We can wait a little. Sometimes, you know, like student needs like 1 minute. So we can wait 1-2 minutes. And then
Okay.
if all silent, then
Yes. Okay, can I have a student who really think that what I talked today is probably touch something about your inspiration, or just one.
Please turn on the camera so Kotchakorn know that she talks to someone.
Hi Jimin Kong, hi Jun Lee, hi Seki, talk to me. Hi Landlord, hi Eve, you are very sexy in your profile. I want to see your real face. Hi Ploy, สวัสดีค่ะ Hi Freud. Oh my gosh, talk to me.
you can select one.
Oh, I don't want to select. When I was a student, I just can't stand the silence. I just really care of the speaker that I need to like participant. Actually, it's not about I love to talk. I just feel like, oh, they're wasting their time coming here and teaching me. Like, do they get that appreciation? You know, that's why I'm talk so much in the class. No, not talk, but ask so much. Okay. Anything like how old are
yeah,
you?
hey.
Except how old am I? Okay, hi.
May I ask a question?
Jenny Huang, where are you from?
I'm from Hong Kong.
You have to introduce yourself first, very proudly. So.
And hi, I'm from Hong Kong, from the school DI, and I'm becoming a year 3 student. So I would like to ask about actually the first project you introduced to us about the water pond and water collection park. So it uses the underground area, right? So in Hong Kong, when the design involves the underground, many of the times we think that it may affect the tunnel, the drainage system that has existed long time ago. So we hesitate to change the underground system or make any underground design. So how can we cope with that? Or do you have any experience in Thailand?
Oh, I have so much experience with people fear. Like it's not about just underground tunnel. I have to talk to engineer who not willing to do urban farm on the roof because it's gonna get leak. And then they convince the client, don't listen to her, it's gonna leak. And I just like, don't listen to him. No, it's just so much fear. And underground water pipe, what's wrong with it? You just fix it if you like, you know, hit it. And in general, in Thailand, the underground water system, the overall pipe of the city, I think is only workable like 60%. The 40% is actually you produce water and it's leak on the land. So I just feel that you don't, okay, you have to compensate big things and keep your concept, right? But you don't compensate small little things that go fix it. You right, just the pipe and you can't do the park, right? It's like you compensate very little fear to the big vision. So I think we have to deal so much with people fear, with the pipe, with the leaking, with the budget underground. Is the plant's gonna grow on the rooftop. It's crazy. So I just feel that that's a technical solution. Everyone can fix it. Yes. But and of course, even when CVSA, we working on that bridge, or we dealing with UDDC with like 5 or 10 department of the expressway, department of the rural road, who owns the land, we don't even know. Like, it's a ref infrastructure corrupted project 40 years ago. The people from the Department of Expressway say, you can't extend the right of way 8 meters because this is like the 2 local road. And when even it's finished, or even when you do your construction, everything have to keep in these 8 meters. If something fall down to the road, we will stop this project. So if you are a designer who just fear and then, okay, I'm not gonna do it. This is impossible. No,
it's not Kotchakorn. It's not Kotchakorn.
No, it's possible. Only 8 meters, we can do it. Yeah. And what if people suicide in the healing garden, in your healing garden on the top of the hospital? What if they suicide on your bridge? Okay, this is the best design that we can protect. And we twist, create the angle that people would not have like their private moment. You do your best as a designer and trust that design can fix the problem. But sometimes the management have to come help. Yes. Don't afraid of the pipe.
Yeah, thank you.
Go work with your design.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Janice. You are the first brave one. And keep doing it. And if you see Sylvia's screen, she keeps smiling. Oh, my student is so proud. She's so proud of you. เด็กไทยคะไม่ใช่
เด็กซิลเวียค่ะ
อ๋อไม่มีเด็กไทยใช่ไหม
เด็กไทยพลอยแล้วก็สุชนัท
ได้ค่ะอาจารย์
สุชนัท
No, I just want to let you
มาจากเกษตรค่ะ
your teacher proud
พูดอังกฤษไม่ค่อยนะ
ไม่เอาอังกฤษค่ะอังกฤษนิดนึง
พูดให้เยอะที่สุดเท่าที่จะพูดได้เดี๋ยวอาจารย์แปลให้
ความจริงอยากจะพูดเหมือนกันค่ะแต่ว่าไม่เก่งก็เลยรอคนเปิดก่อน
คือพูดภาษาอังกฤษเก่งหรอฉันน่ะพูดไม่เก่งเลยพูดจริงๆนี่ฉันต้องฝึกทุกวันนี่ยังฝึกอยู่เลย
ก่อนอื่นขอบคุณอาจารย์กฤษกรที่มากเลยค่ะพูดความจริงอาจารย์เหมือนเป็นแบบไอดอลของคลาสมากๆตอนที่เรียนอยู่แล้วก็แบบ
no พลอย please English
okay so you like a role model for the student in Chulalongkorn University, and of course your cemetery park is one of the criteria study project in construction in my year 3. Yeah, and also I never know about the concept of your park. Like the first time I saw it, the บ่อหน่วงน้ำ detention pond. It's the first time I see it in Thailand, and all of your project is like after the cemetery park and it's สุสานหรือเปล่าไม่ใช่at ธรรมศาสตร์ park, and then the เจ้าพระยา sky park, and also I read your article in Cloud. You gave the and you say you overcome and a lot of obstacles, and it's very inspiring me and many friends in my class, and here we are talking together is like a magical moment for me. Yeah. อยากพูดไทยมากเลยค่ะพูด
เป็นคำถามหรือเป็นคอมเมนต์ครับพลอยมีคำถามไหมเอ่ยหรือเป็น
มีคำถามคือเคยเหมือนมีคนพูดถึงเจ้าพระยาสะพานด้วนเนี่ยค่ะ มีคนไม่เห็น
Try
ด้วย
to put some word in English.
Yeah, I think your English is fine. Yeah.
Yeah, very good, nah.
Yeah, be a little more confident. Yeah.
There's like a conflict while you designing เจ้าพระยา Sky Park, like how it like a exit. I think if we open a map, there will be an exit to อนุวงเวียนใหญ่ and to
King ตากสิน
King ตากสิน monument and to dramatic monument อนุสาวรีย์ประชาธิปไตยนะคะมันจะเป็นแกนยาว it's a long axis and I think that there's controversial while making this like is สะพานด้วง is in a between I think or English called พระบรมสาวรีย์ของสมเด็จ
The King Rama first.
Yeah. I think something like that. And I want to know if you know that this conflict happened. As I heard about it, but I don't know if you heard about it too. But
Yes. Okay. Actually, from your first comment, I was actually thank you my อาจารย์ my teacher, like อาจารย์อาจารย์น้ำนะคะอาริยาอาจารย์ many อาจารย์ they teach me, right? They teach you retention pond, wetland, and things. Show you many other things. But yeah, why can't it happen? Because I've been taught, right? So it's actually not like I'm meditate and I get the solution. No, actually. Learning from the department, and I'm very grateful for that. So grateful for your teacher. They are very important. They're gonna give you career. They're gonna give you life of the knowledge. So be very respectful, and I'm very respect and gratitude for my department so much. Of course, I have a career today because of this teacher. And the second part, yes. Sky Park is located in such a prime heritage site. It's actually parallel Sapan Put, which is named under the founder of Bangkok. It's like the first King Rama of the rhyme of Chakri. It's like he is like the king. Even the previous king, the present king, have to come from Germany and make the respect before he leave. So it's such a like grandfather of the nation in a way. So it's not just it's the bridge infrastructure left over, but this is such a prime area that you can view Wat Arun, you can view so many other things. And of course, right now we haven't talked much about the design part. I would let the UDDC and BMA celebrate the beginning of this project, and later on we will add more why we do what we do. And actually, if you see the curve of the bridge, it's actually respectful, mimicking the curve of the Sapan Put Bridge. And this is also the factor from the BMA that you cannot do something higher than the monument of the King Rama first, and so many other things. But we have to convince that if you put the level of the bridge as the same, right? So people won't see anything, but with the bridge have to be a little higher, but not too high to disrespect the context. So it's look like a cool modern design, but it have so much concern of historical place, why we sweep we only have 8.5, but we widen the perception by split the two level and make it like interpenetrate to create rooms from the narrowest of the space. So เดี๋ยวรอแป๊บนึงกันนะคะ just I haven't have chance to talk about it that much, but there are so much component of architect and landscape architect with that project. Yes.
You mentioned several times UDDC. I would like to explain a little bit more that UDDC also, yes, UDDC is part of academic service, but more enterprise like Chulalongkorn University enterprise that serve for urban design and development. Is that center? Kotchakorn, could you
Yes,
please help?
Urban Design Development Center. Yeah, they are. The team is also professor and Ajahn from Chulalongkorn University. But yeah, they are kind of special entity of how they practice, which I'm actually encourage our department to have the landscape entity to actually make the design happen to impact as well. But yeah. ขอบคุณค่ะพลอย Thanks for giving yourself a chance to make the first step. Okay. Maybe last question ไหมคะ because I gotta go to catch the bus. Sushanan, I love your hairstyle. When I was young, I have that kind of hairstyle.
Yeah, I was shaping my question because our assignment today we're quite a little bit far, and our training problem is we have plenty of idea, but we maybe hasn't get the great manage of framework. And as you are, I very appreciate your work from a long time ago from your process in every project. So you have been working with so many segments like architecture, engineering, and maybe some kind of forestry. So how do you framework and make the process, the system that drive everything together and create a wonderful program? Yeah.
Good question. Teamwork. And it's so hard. When I was a student, I still remember the struggling of the teamwork. The group project is like, yeah, either one person dominates everyone, or either one person with a lowest voice just do everything, right? So I just want to give my suggestion to all the students. I think it's a very good concern. Do your best, but when you communicate, please be respectful, and please try to use a lot of and yes, rather than no. I use that a lot. Like, you have to like use every idea to adding on rather than against each other, because your team will lose the energy, your team will lose the ability. But if you have like those two ideas that really cannot merge, think if you cannot merge really and you have to pick, you have to listen really clearly of the reason. And let's vote in the team and listen the reason why. And those who win the vote, carry on the other idea further along in some sense, right? You cannot just have, okay, let's say this is the big container of 100% idea. Maybe if I have two ideas, one idea have to be 70s, one idea have to be 30. I cannot just put 25, 25, 25, 25. My concept, my project will be weak. One idea have to be dominant the whole story of the concept. If you think about the strong concept, I don't know about your work, it's not like the same pattern, but I just feel that when people perceive your concept, they have to understand what you try to do in such a short, bold idea. And the little things will come, like let's do the bridge, merge people, abandoned infrastructure. Yeah, but we do think about the history. If you have an answer, yeah, we do think about how we use GRC, so it's construct really fast rather than concrete. You know, like there's so many other ideas, but you have to like combine your idea very well, and the teamwork is so important. listen to those who don't speak at all, and those who don't speak, try to speak up so you don't carry the weight to the team. So I would encourage, try to play. It's a dance. I cannot say who's gonna dance in which position, but you all please dance, but dance as a team. Yes.
Maybe maybe I just give the wrong question, I guess. And my question is about, yeah, we have a lot of idea, but we all couldn't shape it. Like,
yeah, I think the answer, right? You have many ideas, but you have to fix your time, and you have to negotiate your idea with team, and give everyone maybe 1 minute explain, and choose and listen to other people's opinions.
They have this group have the problem of prioritize.
Yeah.
Prioritize the thing. They work very hard and they produce too many things in a very small size. Not very small, but compared to the programming, so they cannot prioritize the program.
You have to prioritize things. Like when people have limited time, you have limited time as well.
They want to put everything in a certain.
No, that's not a good concept. That's not a good concept. Concept is not about everything. Concept is about what you make the difference. That
less is more.
Other concept. Okay, it's not about having it complete, answer every question. No, it's not. It's about main idea. Okay, you guys.
You will miss the bus, right?
Yes, actually, I gotta go to Khon tonight.
At what time?
อ๋อเนี่ยค่ะรถรออยู่แล้วค่ะ
Okay, so Chamawong.
I think he left for a moment. Okay, let's all thank you, Ajahn Kotchakorn Voraakhom, for her excellent and inspiring lecture. Thank you very much for being an inspiring and role model for young generations. Thank you.
Thank you so much ค่ะอาจารย์ภาวินีอาจารย์น้ำอาจารย์ชมาวงศ์อาจารย์ซิลเวีย Thank you everyone. Thank you all the students, and I hope you would have a wonderful workshop, and I will catch up how's your work been done, but do your best. You only have limited time, and smart to the good designers always good at selecting things, selecting ideas as well.
Thank you so much, God.
สวัสดีค่ะขอบคุณมากเลยค่ะ Bye Sylvia, bye everyone, bye Harry. Yes. Yeah. Please have a good sleep. That's just like, bye.
Bye.
See you tomorrow, everybody.